in my opinion, no matter who the person may be, I don't think anyone is exempt from suicide. That's just my opinion. And this is the reason why I decided to make this video, because I was watching somebody, I think it was on television or it was on YouTube. And, they talked about this time where they was going through like some real serious deep depression, like for lasted like for years at a time. And, they say they got to the point where they didn't feel like living. And they say, but, I didn't get to the point where, I was considering suicide. I mean, that's just not going to be me. And, I was thinking to myself, like, but first and foremost, right? If you're at the point where you don't feel like living, even if you haven't considered suicide, that's under their cousins, they're brothers or twins. They're under the same umbrella already, But my thing is, the reason why I don't think anyone could be exempt from suicide is because we are all human beings. Like the person who said that probably never thought they would get to a point where they didn't even feel like living. I'm sure somebody who attempted suicide or committed suicide didn't ever imagine them being to a point where they would attempt suicide or commit suicide. So my thing is, why would anyone actually feel as though they are exempt from suicide? I don't believe, because like I said, we are all human beings. No one is superior or inferior to anybody. And everybody have their own strengths and weaknesses. It's just about how we're going to go about dealing with them. I mean, even the way that we came up, stuff that we might have seen, stuff that we might have saw, might have impacted our ability to have strength in certain situations or with certain things, or not be able to be as strong in certain situations or with certain things. Right? Because, and you might think, I heard somebody, two people that I know, look at somebody's situation. Somebody was talking about how something really affected them in their childhood. It was about a divorce. And somebody who grew up in poverty looked at that person like, that's it. And that's what has you so depressed. But that's another thing. You can't pick somebody's pain. You can't pick how much something will impact somebody. You can't determine how much tolerance somebody have for something, or how much somebody should or shouldn't have tolerance for something. Nobody can pick that, right? Because like I say, somebody can do it to you. Because nobody is perfect, right? In some areas, you are stronger than you are in other areas, right? Nobody should ever feel like the main focus is how would you go about handling the situations. That's it, right? If somebody, and learning how to fight certain situations, because every situation can be fought the same way, right? Sometimes you may feel like you need to talk to somebody. Sometimes it might not be a situation where you need to talk to somebody. You may need to do something. Like I said, I talk about this in the video called, well, God plays more on you than you can handle. Sometimes you got to learn how to fight. Because like I said, sometimes you might try to use your determination, your determination and your will, and you just going to burn yourself out, because it might not be a determination or will type of situation. It might be a situation where, let me give an example, right? If an 18-wheeler coming down the street nonstop, right? Getting ready to run people over. You don't jump in front of it and put your hands up. Like, that would be using your determination and your will. You need to just step to the side, let it run out of gas, then start walking again, right? Just to give an example, you got to learn how to fight battles. Like I said, you got pride. You got to push that to the side. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do in whatever it is. Whether you got to go talk to somebody, whether you got to go do something, whether you got to go not do something, you got to push pride aside. That could be a big stumbling block right there. And sometimes they have things that you don't want to do. That might be hard. That might be a tough decision. It might not be easy, but you still got to do it because it's what's best for you. You got to all that. You got to factor in everything. This is the ultimate thing right here. This, to me, is the biggest thing. The person who think that they are incapable of being suicidal is probably in the most danger of committing suicide. Because they think it can't happen to them. And all of us are just human beings on the same level playing field anyway. So if it can happen to one, it can happen to another. And this is a big reason why it can happen to anybody. Because no one on earth, nobody, have complete control over what could happen to them or what could happen in their life. If we did, everything would go exactly as we planned and perfectly. The reason why I don't is because we don't have full control. You can't determine everything that's going to happen to you, right? So, and those things that happen to you can cause great hardships in your life, can bring about great depression, can make you, it can get to the point where you have to make a complete life change, a life adjustment, a new way of living. You don't know how that's going to hit you, right? And how you've been brought up and what you've been seeing and what you're used to, that's going to affect how you go about handling those situations. So yeah, you can't predict what's going to happen to you in life. You can make a decision as to how you're going to go about handling it. I'm not saying sit back and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I do believe that faith without works is dead. But like I said, sometimes you got to know how to fight the battle. Sometimes it might be a waiting game. And you got to move whenever you have certain opportunities and slits or whatever to move, right? And make sure you don't ever close your heart and close your mind to different avenues to get out. And don't ever place your solution in a box. When I say place your solution in a box, thinking that the solution to a problem have to be a certain way that you imagine, or have to come in a package a certain way that you're used to seeing it come. Stay open-minded and open-minded and open-hearted about the solution. Learn how you need to be fighting the battle, and how you need to fight might not be the same way with the same situation. Sometimes you might need to fight this way. Sometimes you might need to fight that way. Sometimes you need to step to the side that the 18 really run out of gas. You know, you stay sharp, stay open-minded, and most importantly, get in a relationship with God through Jesus Christ and take it from there. Stay open-minded and open-hearted to Him. The Almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful God Almighty, who is made strong in our weakness, right? He the only one that can handle every single. We can't handle literally every single situation necessarily, right? I think, like I talk about it in that video that I mentioned. Sometimes I think we can have stuff placed on us, stuff can happen to us that we not capable of handling in our own strength. That's why we need God, a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. That's the way to Him. That's how it go. And resting in Him, and casting our cares on, leaning on Him, depending on His strength, because He is the one with the almighty strength, not us mere human beings. Don't be a suicide tough guy.